People often ask me, how do you learn to hear the voice of God? How do you know it's Him and not just your own thoughts? And that question, I think, is answered best with another question. How much time do you spend with Him? How well do you know Him? You see, if somebody calls me that I haven't talked to in 10 years and I answer the phone and all they say is, hey, I'm like, well, who is this? And they're like, it's me, blah, blah, blah. Well, how am I supposed to know it's you from just, hey, we haven't seen each other in 10 years. But if my wife, who I see every day and have been with for over 20 years, calls me and just goes, I'm like, yes, dear. I know it's her just from that because I spend so much time with her. I know her well. It's the same thing with the Lord. All He has to do is breathe in a room of 10,000. And I know it's Him because I spend so much time with Him. I'm familiar with His voice. In 1 Samuel 3, Samuel's asleep and the Lord calls out to him. And Samuel keeps getting up and going to Eli and saying, yes. And Eli is like, I'm not the one that's calling you. See, Samuel didn't know God's voice yet. So Eli eventually catches on and says, oh, next time he calls out, say, yes, Lord, your servant is listening. Samuel had to learn to know God's voice. At first, he didn't even know it was Him. And it's the same for you. You have to spend time with Him. But the more time you spend with Him, all He has to do is whisper, and you know it's Him. You'll be like, I know that voice. The more you know Him, the more time you spend with Him, the more familiar you are with hearing His voice.